So today, week 13, Life by Design, the next stage of harnessing your voice and your vision to write life on your terms, not anybody else's, yours. And for those of you who stuck with me through that little bit of waffle, thank you. Those of you who have made it for the 13 weeks, thank you. I really appreciate you all being here. And I also really appreciate all of you who have booked in for your author strategy sessions. It's been a pleasure to meet all of you, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you thrive. I know that some of us are going to be working together. So that's very exciting for me. And just thank you very much for all that you have put into this process, because it's not easy. I know I talk fast as well. So for those of you whose English is not your first language, you've kept up, and I really appreciate everything that you've said and everything that you're doing in the world, because it's really, really enjoyable for me to learn about some of the books that are about to come out onto the market or they're in the process of being written. So just wanted to put that out there first. So the first step, as you know, I have my 7 steps. The first step is, what does life by design mean? Now, I first heard this phrase, gosh, over a decade ago. And it was by this wonderful woman called Ali May in Australia. We were dear friends. She said, "Oh, we just got to live life by design." And oh, I like that. I'm stealing that, because you can do. And I was like, thanks. Because, you know, that's just how we are. And it was all about how we intentionally create our life and how we design our life. You know, like for the ladies and the gents around, you know, that like to be well turned out, you know, we design our outfit for an award ceremony, or we design our home, or we design the business strategy that we've got going on. And life is very much the same. If we are just going through life being blown around by the wind or taking the first opportunity that comes along, and it's not where we want to be, we've really got to think, okay, if I continue on this path, where is it going to lead me? It might lead you somewhere totally unexpected, totally amazing, something you would never have dreamed of. But is it nourishing you? Is it the life you want? I know, and I've met a lot of people that are just like a leaf blowing around in the wind. Like they get blown here, they stand for nothing. They do not have roots like a tree. And it transcends into every area of their life. They have no conviction about anything. They don't stand for anything. And they're quite weak-willed in a lot of ways, because they haven't really considered, well, who am I? What do I stand for? Or I'm just going to follow the crowd. No, design your life. And I mean design it in the sense that, you know, where are you going to sit? What kind of chair are you going to sit on? And I know that those that have done vision creation, we'll get onto that as well. You know, we're taught that we've got to really imagine where we're going to live, what we're going to be wearing, who are the kind of people that are around us, how much money are we going to be receiving and, you know, reinvesting, and what kind of activities are we going to do. And I always say that when we're designing our life, and this is something that I do, I design my life from where I currently am. And then I step into that next level of myself, the life I've just designed, and I've created that vision of myself. I step into that and go, okay, when I get to that, what am I going to then be dreaming about? What am I then going to be seeking? And then I do the whole process again. I design the life from that space. And then I step into that space and I design my life from that space. And I will be honest, I'll probably pull a few funny faces throughout today, because last night I did a workout and I think I pulled a muscle. Probably one I don't think I knew I had that muscle. And I have done Pilates before, so I have discovered many muscles I didn't know I had. So if I pull a funny face or I do it, oh, that's what's going on. But again, it's like and to use that actually as women, Those of us who go through menstruation and then pregnancy and then into the menopause, our bodies change. We have to really hone into who we are and how we're changing our exercise routine or our movement routine. We have to reinvent the way we dress ourselves, what fabrics we use. And as we get older, this is men and women, we become more aware of what's going on in the world, what's really important, especially when we have children. um, we start to look at the world in a very different way. We start to look at, things bigger than ourselves. And I'm not saying you have to have children to be fully aware of the world. Please don't misinterpret that. But again, it's like when we've been through some kind of trauma, or we've been in a job for a very long time, we're becoming disillusioned by it, and we go, actually, why am I becoming disillusioned by it? That's one of the first nudges that you'll get, that means you need to then start looking at how you're designing your life. So, and again, it's like, if you are at that point, it's like, what is it that I like about my life? What is it that I love about my life? What is it that makes me excited to get up in the morning? So really focus on those, and then also go, well, what is it that's not working? Is it a relationship? Is it your diet? Is it the environment that you're living in? Whether that is a city environment, whether that's in a gated community, whether it's a family home, or the fact that you're on your own. What is it that's not working for you? What is it that's bringing you unhappiness? These are the things you need to upgrade or evolve or change. And some of them are that, so you might have to let go of some people, because, like I said, we all evolve at different rates. Step two, oh, sorry, is the next stages of life. Like I just said, whether it's, you become a parent, or you're going through the menopause, or you might even be coming up for retirement. And you're like, yeah, I'm too young to be retiring. Oh, actually, to everybody else, I'm not too young to be retiring. But some people, they're not ready to retire at the age of 80. And it's like they have such a great life, the one that they really enjoy, but their career is coming to an end. How are you designing beyond retirement? Because in the Western world, what tends to happen is people retire, and then it's almost like they're waiting to die. And I never saw that when I was out in the Arab world or in Latin America. People would just continue working. They would continue having a purpose. For those of you who are aware of the blue zones around the world, one of the things that keeps people living longer and healthier is a purpose that they have, whether that's a community garden, whether that's friendships, whether that's, going out and doing different things like community work, or you might even be wanting to write a book. And it really is, what is it that this next stage of your life is asking you to become or to write about? What wisdom are you imparting onto other people, that allows them to step up and learn from you, but also allows you to get clear on? Because if you are coming up to retirement, or you've been told that you only have a certain amount of time to live, like a very dear friend of mine recently, you know, what have you achieved in life? What is it that you wished you'd have achieved in life? Um, is it you've really wanted to share certain wisdom, or you want to actually tell your grandchildren, or create a lesson legacy through the art of literature, where you leave something to your children and your great grandchildren and your great 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 grandchildren, so that they actually know who you were and what you stood for? Is that the kind of legacy? Is it something you want to write some letters to people? Again, what is it that you want to achieve, that you not designing your life with intention has made you forfeit? And remember that everything that we've ever chosen in life, whether it's a conscious choice or an unconscious choice that we've made, like if you're just a leaf blowing around in the wind and you've just ended up here, don't know how it happened, that is a choice, that is a result, and that is a reflection of you making choices that weren't in alignment with who you were. These, where you end up, is it is absolutely a reflection of every choice you've made or not made. If you've allowed other people to make choices for you, whether that is your parents or whether that's a partner or a spouse or teachers or even your government, um, if you, or boss, if you are not making conscious choices for yourself that are getting you to where you need to be, this is a perfect moment right here, right now. There's no surprises that you're here now listening to this, because we all get to hear the things that we're meant to hear at the time we're meant to hear it. It might be that you've been thinking about this for a very long time, and just listening to me now is that nudge that you need. It might even be a punch in the face that you need. And I am somebody who has learned from ignoring my intuition. And sometimes it's felt like I'm a mosquito hitting a Mack truck doing 90 kilometers, well, 90 miles an hour along the motorway. I'm not quite sure. I think that's 180 kilometers, 90. Yeah, I don't know. That's not my bag. But again, life is a reflection of the choices that you have made or not made or given away along the way. So this is where you harnessing the power of your voice comes in. If you don't want to do something, say no. No is a full sentence. It needs no explanation. It doesn't need you to go into every reason or overthinking thought process. No is a full sentence. That's it. Khalas. And the thing is that when you know how to say no, or you know how to say a full-bodied hell yes, this is you really knowing who you are and what it is that you want. Or it's a sign of it. Some people might be saying a hell yes because they don't want to be left behind. They have what we call a FOMO, the fear of missing out. If you're somebody who worries about missing out on things in life, you need to go back and you need to listen to the voice deep within you, the voice of your soul. You need to turn up that volume on your own soul and turn down the voice and the volume of other people, because those people are not going to get you to where you want to be unless you have shared with them exactly what you want to do, where you want to be, and they're the person that helps you get there. Don't be listening to, in fact, actually, I'm going to give a sneak peek to a book that I'm editing at the moment that's due out by one of my current authors, Amanda Denham. She's got a great book coming out called Seven Feathers. And time stamping this, I think it's the 3rd of April. So time stamping this 2025. It's coming out in the middle to the end of this year. And there's something in there where the main character, Julie, her dad tells her not to go to university to follow her friends or to follow the relationship. And now she's in a situation, I'm not going to tell you what it is. She's now in a situation where she's going, actually, I really should have listened to him. And like I've said to my boys, never walk into a room and think, who likes me? Always walk into the room and go, who do I like? Who in this room is a good fit for me? And also, what can I learn from other people? As well as what am I here to share with other people and to teach other people? Because you are the most important person in your life. And when we harness the power of our voice, it's about us actually listening to our voice. Is it an introvert's voice? Is it somebody who's very, who appears to be very extrovert, but is actually somebody who takes a lot of courage to actually speak out on things? Now, you tend to find people like myself. I used to be very, very shy and very quiet, believe that if you will. But I knew that if I was to succeed in business and I was to be the person that I wanted to be, I had to do something about it. I took drama lessons. And I had to get comfortable in my own skin. But I'm also somebody who knows what an indoor voice is and an outdoor voice. There are lots of people who don't know what that is, and they don't teach their children that either. That can be quite annoying, especially if you're in the quiet section of a train and you're trying to read a book, or anywhere for that matter. You might even be on a really nice date in a restaurant, and all you can hear is the people on the table furthest by the window, and you're at the other end of the restaurant, and all they're doing is waffling. And banging on and shouting around just to make everybody hear them, because we could say that they've never been given the attention they need or the training that they need, that they have to make sure everybody hears them. Just a slight opinion. on the side there. But knowing who you are, I know that I'm very assertive. I also know that I have learned how to command my voice. There are lots of people that are assertive on the inside, but they just haven't learned how to harness the power of their voice. I do challenge. And yes, even yesterday, I had a lady, I put my hand up at a business networking event. We had a fabulous speaker, and I told him and asked him a question. Um, and she was like, "You and your opinions." And it was something very interesting because I was like, when people say that, is it because they don't have an opinion that they're willing to share? Or was it that she was uncomfortable with me sharing my opinion, or that she was really proud of me for me sharing my opinion? Because a lot of women don't. So we haven't got to the bottom of that, but either way, I'm not bothered because what I felt, what I had to say was important. As you will read as a dedication in all of my books to my boys, how they feel, what they think, and what they've got to say is important. I'm going to say the same to you. You need to be willing to courageously challenge others who are holding you back from designing your life for that next level. It could be that you're going after a massive award, or that you're going after um, a speaking career, but you don't want to be speaking on big business stages. You want to be speaking to kids. You want to be going and becoming a therapist. You might actually be wanting to go out into different parts of the world and dealing with some of the social issues that we've got. They're all going to require you to harness the power of your voice in a very different way. It might be that you want to become a politician, like the gentleman yesterday. He has a very jovial way of being. And I said, well, it actually comes across, some of the subjects you're talking about, you come across as really quite, dismissive and patronizing. But that was his nature. But again, I courageously challenged him. And then he had the opportunity to own who he was and say, thank you. And I really admired that because he knew who he was. And that's where we need to be if we're willing to go on stage and speak our minds and speak about the subjects that we've written about. Now, I said at the top of this that I was going to be speaking about the vision that we create, because it could be that some of us have this vision of what our life is going to look like. And I remember being age 8, telling my mum whilst we were sat on the beach midnight, and I was looking out the oil rigs on the North Sea. And I said to my mum, I'm going to go and live at sea. 8 years old. It took me until the age of 40 to go and live at sea. I was a bit slow to the mark, obviously. But there were certain things that I needed to get in place and certain things that needed to happen in my life. Some of them I had no idea. They were not in my design. They were not in my vision. And this is the thing about the opportunities that come along that are unexpected. Because when I got married, I expected it to be for life. I didn't expect it to end after 18 years. There were certain events that happened after my marriage ended that I really did not expect to happen. But for me to have been able to achieve certain things in life, I had to go through those life lessons. I had to dig deep into who I am. So I could go, okay. Now I can alchemize that pain. I can alchemize it from a negative to a positive, pain into power. And what that has enabled me to do, and the gift of those things has happened, has allowed me to be able to support other authors that have been through trauma, that have lived through civil war, people that are able to. So I think we just lost the recording. I don't know. But these unexpected glitches, internet breaks, how we handle things in life. That was obviously a very silly example of having an internet break, but it could be a very awkward time. It could be that it's a life-threatening situation where you need that internet, you need to access, you need that telephone connection to make sure somebody is safe. You might be looking for somebody, you might be lost, you might be in an emergency. So again, there are certain things that happen for us, through us, They never happen to us. Because when we look at ourselves from something happening to us, we put ourselves into a victim mind state, victim mindset. We never want to be doing that, because when we put ourselves into a victim mindset, then we just stay stuck and we sabotage ourselves. And when we have a pity party, no one likes a pity party. And those people that do things to get sympathy will soon be rumbled, and people will start disappearing from your life. The people that are really going to help you become the very best version of yourself, they will disappear from your life. And only the people who get a kick out of you being down and pathetic are going to be the ones that stick around. And you really don't want those people around you. But again, it's about looking at what your goals are, where you are in life, and how they're changing. Because like I said, you know, each new stage of our life requires a vision upgrade. Who is going to be there to help you? I mean, these 6 questions at the bottom: who, what, where, when, how, and why. Who is going to be there to support you and help you, hold you accountable to become the very best version of yourself? What are they going to be doing with you and for you? And what are you going to be doing with them and for yourself? Where are you going to be doing it? Where are you going to be living? Where are you going? When is it all going to happen? Because we can bend and fold time. We only have to look at quantum physics. If you haven't heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza, or you haven't heard of Regan Hillier, or any of the people at Mind Valley, then, or Gaia, you know, Abraham Hicks, these kind of people, they would help you fold time. How, we don't really look at the how. That's not our business. We just have to come up with the vision, and we have to keep believing in it and working towards it. If we get stuck in the how, we get stuck. That's quite literally why we get stuck in the how. And why are we doing it? Those of you who have heard about Simon Sinek, you will know he said, you know, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you on this journey? So always understand those 6 questions. Is it 6? Yeah. Now, as a writer, excuse me, I need some tea. And this mug, just a little bit of an insight. This mug was bought for me before I went traveling. There's not even a chip in it, not a crack or anything. That's been on airplanes, boats, trains, in a backpack. It's moved house, and it's still in one piece. Go me. Anyway, I love tea. Is there more to write? I mean, I could write about tea, and yes, I could write about all my travels around the world to the 44 countries that I've lived and worked in. But there is always more to write. Always. Now, whether it's you're going to be writing articles from your book. So, for example, you might have, say, 14 chapters in your book. Are you going to write articles about the different aspects of the things that are in those chapters? Are you going to be writing maybe 7 keynote speeches or 3 really powerful keynote speeches? Are you going to be writing speeches for other people? Are you going to be writing articles for other people? Are you going to be writing more books? Now, I called myself an accidental author because I made a flippant comment before I wrote my first book about writing a book and answering everybody's questions all at the bloody same time, because I was always getting asked the same questions over and over and over again. I thought it would be work smarter, not harder, right? Write a book, just go buy my book. Don't have to answer the question, although that is answering a question. Now I'm 21 books in as a solo author and as a developmental editor and author coach. So there were more books. Again, there's new versions of ourselves that we're bringing into being. You know, so we're rewriting our narrative, we're rewriting our story. It might be we get to that next level of life that I was talking about a few moments ago, and we realize, oh my gosh, I've been sabotaging. I've been sabotaging myself. I've been in a pity party. I've been having a belief that were borrowed from somebody else. Return it to sender, write a new version of myself. What is next on your writing journey? Are you going to become a journalist? Are you going to go, like I said, and write articles for magazines or for publications? Are you going to be writing white papers for universities and businesses? Where is your writing journey going to take you? Because the thing is, and I have yet to meet a writer not an author. I've yet to meet a writer. Um, okay, let me rephrase this. Because those people who know me know that I have a real issue with people just calling themselves an author when they haven't written the book. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the authors that have researched their book and written their book and poured everything into it. Because the thing is, when you go through that process of researching and writing your book yourself, something happens within you. And you may love to hate it at the time, but once that book has been written, it becomes like, you need that. It's kind of like become an addiction to researching and writing. That solitude of you being in that research mode and learning about the world or learning about a certain topic, your mind is I call it mind porn. Because I mean, I probably shouldn't. But it's like there's just something, those serotonin hits, those endorphins, when you start to realize that, oh my God, that is a thing. And you start connecting all of the dots, and then you become more aware of certain things about yourself and about the world or about other people, and you see solutions, or you can let things go. And it becomes such a labor of love, researching and writing a book, that you just can't stop. There's always something else to write, always. And it could be, if you've done a thesis maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago for university, whether it was for your postgrad, your master's, or a PhD that you've done, and it might be you want to revisit that from a different end of your life and go, I'm going to go back to that thesis. I'm going to add all the new knowledge that I've gained and all the new wisdom and expertise. But instead of writing it as another thesis, I'm actually going to write that as a book. So all of that knowledge I've gained isn't just kept within academia. It could be that you're in academia now and you're saying, you know what, I really don't want this to be stuck in the world of academia. I don't want it to be institutionalized. I want my knowledge to be shared with the world. They're the kind of books I love. So if you've got one of those books that you want to write and work on, then do let me know. Very up for that. So again, it's like, how are you going to write? What are you going to write next? Like I said, there's always more to write. Life on your terms. Because why would you want to live life on anybody else's terms? You know, we don't belong to anybody else. We don't even belong to our parents. My children certainly don't belong to me. I'm their mother. I gave birth to them, but I don't own them. Nobody owns us. We are free individuals, part of a collective, community, part of a family. And if we do not wish to, we don't even have to belong in our own family. There are some of us who don't even like our families. We have nothing in common with them. And every time we maybe engage with our families, it's like a lamb to the slaughter. Why would you do that to yourself? Live life on your terms. I was a long distance mother. That was me choosing myself over my children, being present in my children's life, because where I was in my life at that time, if I hadn't have taken myself away and actually worked on myself, they probably wouldn't have had a mother. So again, it's like, we have to do life on our terms. We have to take care of ourselves first. We have to make sure that we're honoring ourselves, especially if we're parents, because if we're not honoring ourselves, how on earth can we teach our children to honor themselves? But also, how can we teach others to honor us? And how can we honor other people? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute, not in my brain anyway. And this is the thing, it's just like, so many, when I went away and I was a long distance parent, so many mothers sent me hateful messages, as well as quite a number of men, telling me I thought more about myself and my business and my prestige. They didn't know I was healing from a really awful trauma. Um, and it was what they saw was just me putting out a facade on social media because I had to keep the business going. I had to keep that um, that bravado out. I had to because if people had found out that I was going through what I was going through, um, we'd have ended up with those people that, like I said, that love to put sympathy on you and keep you stuck in a pity or a downward spiral because they get a kick out of it. But also with the work that I was doing, I needed to focus on work as a way of me healing myself. And when we do things like this, what we're doing is saying, I matter because we do matter. You matter, your book matter, what you think matters, how you feel matters, because everything comes from where you were. And everything that you're doing in your writing and publishing journey, it matters. It matters who you choose to work with. It matters how you choose to write. It matters where you promote your book and where you sell your book and the stages you speak on, the podcasts you appear on, with the schools you go into, the subjects you want to continue to write about and raise awareness of. It all matters. And you might not have a huge audience because of what you're writing about. It's so very niche. But that doesn't matter because it's not about the writing is not about the prestige. Becoming an author is not about prestige. It's about making the difference in the world. It's about creating a legacy that somebody else gets to tap into. Now, these are my beliefs. You can take them or leave them. I'm not attached to what you believe. But again, this is what I'm saying. Where do my beliefs come from? They come from a place of being surrounded by people who were only writing books to get the title of an author or to have some kind of credibility, and knowing that those people didn't write that book. And yet there they are accepting awards for work that they've not done, and they're not acknowledging other people for it. And that feels really icky to me. That feels very selfish and egotistical. And that's not who I am. So it's like that. But again, this is my belief. It comes from being around these people and realizing they were really shallow people. They weren't interested in anything but themselves and saying, look at me, aren't I fabulous? They didn't care about other people. And it became very apparent many years afterwards. So again, what are we seeing around us and the people around us, or people within our network or in our community or in our organizations or within our nation, our governments? What are we seeing that's actually confirming certain beliefs that we have or changing the beliefs that we have? Like I said, it might be that you're working within a corporate organization or a charity and you're seeing things that are really unethical. They might even be quite immoral. And where do your beliefs and morals come from? Is it a religion that you have that's where it comes from? Is it a culture? Is it your families? Are they yours? Because when we actually start to examine all of our beliefs and our values and our moral systems, we actually go, okay, this is not mine. I don't believe this. Truly, in my heart, I really don't believe this. And when I work with a lot of my authors that are writing memoirs or factual books, I can actually see that at the beginning of the book, they might be writing one thing. And then at the end of the book, they might be writing something that completely contradicts it. I'm like, okay, let's marry those up together. How can you think and feel this about a certain situation, but you think and feel this about this situation? The logic isn't a match. Now, remember, we're humans. So if you're writing a book, one of the best things that you can do is actually use it to really create alignment within your body and within your thinking and within your values and your belief systems. When you're able to do that, then you know, and your editor or your author coach picks you up on it, that's when you know you've got a really great editor and author coach. But the problem that we've got is there are a lot of those author coaches out there and publishers and editors out there. They're not looking at that. They're just looking, okay, is the grammar okay? Okay, is that reference? Is that cited? Okay, that's good to go. There are some author coaches out there that have never written a book. For me, that's unethical. If you have never written a book, how can you teach somebody else how to be an author? You really can't. Um, and again, what is it? What does life on your terms and your values and your beliefs, what does it mean for you? Does it mean a good night's sleep? Does it mean freedom to be who you are, however you wish to be? And does that mean that you get the freedom to change? If you read my first book and you read some of my books now, you can see the evolution of my life and my belief systems and how I've changed as a woman and as an author. Does it mean that you get to let go of control? Does it mean that you get to gain control over an area of your life you never had control in? Again, it's about you really truly understanding about what life on your terms means. And as step 7 starts, what's your transformation so far? One of the best things about a piece of fiction or a main character in a piece of fiction or the protagonist is the fact that they go through some kind of transformation throughout the book. And if it's a series, then we really want to see them grow and evolve, really start to question who they are. That's what makes some of the greatest fiction. Donna Tartt, The Goldfinch, Say No More. My gosh, that woman, what she's written in that book, total fangirl moment. Um, and this is the thing, when we choose a subject that we're going to write about, how is it going to change us? How is it going to upgrade our life? How is it going to transform our way of being, our thinking? How is it going to elevate us and help us ascend to that next level? Because there's no point writing a book and coming at it from a place of, I think I know everything. Because if we think that we know everything, we've already lost that. We've already lost because nobody knows everything. Nobody. And I read a really great quote yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. I absolutely loved it. I shared it on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, why on earth not? Not I don't post that much on it, but anyway. If you do want to follow me on Instagram, it's Mrs. Dawn Bates International, INTL. I can't find it. I wouldn't even know how to start looking for it. But it was basically where this chap said that he'd been learning for 60 years, thinking he knew everything. And it wasn't until 60 years later that he realized he knew nothing. And that's what great literature does, whether you're writing it or whether you're reading it. If you are the same person at the start of your writing journey that you are at the end of the book being published, you've not done a good enough job. If you have not learnt new concepts, new ideas, and you haven't let go of certain fixed beliefs or fixed ideas, if you haven't let go of something and you haven't elevated your thinking and your entire being, you have not done a good enough job on your manuscript. You really haven't. You have to change. Writing changes you if you do it properly. And the beautiful thing about writing a book, not with AI, the beautiful thing about writing a book is that it does take time. It is a process. You are getting to know yourself. You are going through this beautiful transformation. You're going through a healing journey that you didn't even know you needed. You start to become patient with yourself because you need to check things and you need to read things maybe once or twice or 3 times. And you might wake up, those of you who are writers, you will know that sometimes you wake up at stupid o'clock in the morning and go, I've got to write that. Or you might just grab your journal and your eyes are still closed and you're writing and you've got to get it down, or you grab your dictaphone. Okay, I'm showing my age. Okay, you might grab your phone, go to a voice note and record that, because you just have to get that idea down. And so sleep patterns might be a bit disturbed, but they also could mean that once you've written the book and you've poured it all out and you've got it all out, you can just go, okay, that's done. And breathe and sleep. I've been known to purge a lot of stuff in my writing and some of my clients, and we've slept. I've been for a nap, meaning only wanting to go for an hour or 2, and I've slept for 17 hours straight. The other great thing about researching and writing is it helps you with your diction. It helps you begin to articulate yourself on a whole other level. You learn new vocabulary. You learn how best to frame certain things. Unless, like myself, you've got multiple languages in your head and they all kind of converge together and you end up talking and all the languages you speak come out at once. I really haven't managed the polyglot way of life where they can just focus on one language in a sentence. Probably because I learned just by traveling. But we start to articulate our ideas before we speak, although not always. Sometimes the passion makes it come out your mouth before you're aware of it. And like I've said to people before, sometimes I'm as surprised about what comes out of my mouth as everybody else. But again, it's like my diction has certainly evolved. The way I express myself has improved, and my writing. I can write a social media post that will blow people away, make them think, and it takes me less than 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes me less than 3. And people are like, how did you write that? And it's like, I can write about 15,000 words in a day. Again, it's pure unconscious, conscious creation process. So now we're at the end of the step 7. What I'd invite you to do, if you've already started your manuscript, or you've got to the end of it, or you've already published a book and that transformation within you has not happened, or you want to revisit it and you'd like someone to help you, then I'll be more than willing to help you write your book or rewrite it, re-edit it. And if there's anything that I can help you with, you know that I have my author sessions. Again, I'm very grateful that you accepted my invitation to grow together through the art of literature. And for those of you who are keen to, let me just get rid of this. I've got to minimize it. It's 1444 angel numbers. Okay, so I'm now going to share my screen again. Bear with me a second because I want to go over to here. Those of you who have already taken me up on an author strategy session, like I said at the top, thank you so very much for taking the time to go to this link and book in and share with me, and trust me that you can and I do take that quite seriously, the fact that someone would actually take the time to spend time with me, but also trust me with their journey, and it really does mean a lot to me. So you can see that there's some dates and times here. There's only one on Wednesday next week. There's 3 on Tuesday. Aren't you lucky? And there's one on Thursday. Again, you've got some more there. But for those of you who are interested in working with me, and you've realized that I actually do know quite a bit, and the publishing with me isn't just about the mechanics of it. It's actually a very human, very transformational journey. So if there is anything that you want to speak to me about, or if I can join you at any stage of your journey, you can go to my website, Dawn Bates International. So this is dawnbates.com/writers. You can find it here. It's at the very top. You've got the 7-week author course. There is the DBI Author Academy that we are launching very soon. And that's for any author that would like to join free of charge, where we get to have a really nice time. There'll be office hours in there. There'll be resources in there for you as well. And a great community, people that have published with me as well as people who haven't. There's manuscript assessment. So this is, if you just want in a critical review and an edit, basic edit, or if you want the full-on manuscript assessment, then this is where you can find them. There is one-on-one coaching for those of you who want that personalized treatment. And then if you've got an anthology that you're thinking of putting together and you'd like some help on doing that to increase your leadership skills, but in also spreading the cost between you and some colleagues, or you want to use your anthology as a way of servicing your clients and having them be part of your book, then that is something that we can discuss as well. My favorite, my baby, is my 7-week author course. I absolutely love it. I poured so much into this. And I know that a lot of the people that work with me and that have done it have absolutely gained so much from it. It is a course that has been designed to fit into your life, not be an additional burden on it. There's life coaching, there's writing, there's ideas for vision creation, there's dealing with your money story, there is expanding your brand and your business. It's about building a business and taking it to that next level. And there are testimonials on there as well, so you can actually learn what it was like working with me, from people who actually have done. And again, it's a self-study course, a 7-week author course. But if at the time that you want to invest in this, and you get through a certain module, book a session with me. I'm here to help you because I want to make sure that nobody is alone on their author journey. You can listen to Carmel. She wrote the book, Unlock, Discover Your Inner Keys. Beautiful Pilates teacher from Australia. And again, if you wanted to do the full payment, it's only 1,117. 3 monthly payments are 385, or if you want to do 6 months, it's 196. Again, it's not just a writing course. This is a life transformation business course, and it helps you create all your vision. Everything that I've covered in the last 13 weeks is in this course. Each module has about 35 pages. There are action plans, journaling, there are activities for you to do. So it's all in there. And in the DBI Author Academy, there will be networking opportunities, and it's for authors, for writers, journalists, researchers, anybody who really has a love of writing and wants to share that. So please do come and join us. Keep an eye on the website. Those of you who have signed up to my email list, thank you so very, very much. I really do appreciate you. You will be getting an invitation to join the DBI Author Academy. And like I said, there will be different resources in there, weekly sessions, drop-in clinics, etc. And yeah, that's it for me. 13 weeks. We're having a break next week. Not that those of you who are on playing catch up or watching on YouTube or Vimeo, those of you who have been joining every week or listening, then there will be a session. We're going to take a break, ready to kick off the next 13 weeks, which is all about transforming your journey. And we are actually calling that that session is, if I bear me 1 second, the Writing on the Edge, a 13-week guide to bold and ethical storytelling. So that's going to include writing about sensitive topics, the psychology and psychological impact on writers and readers, ethics and approaches, personal stories, writing with empathy, language, tone and framing. Then we've got things like storytelling and advocacy, navigating legal and ethical boundaries, writing for different mediums, engaging and navigating with the media, dealing with pushback, responding to criticisms and attacks, building credibility and trust in your writing, writing for change, the intersection of policy and advocacy, and sustaining long-term engagement and keeping the conversation going way past publication. So if that sounds like something that you want to do, then make sure that you get signed up. All the links and all the details will be below. And that's it from me for this series. I look forward to you joining me for the next one. And yeah, have fun writing and transforming and elevating and living your life by design. Much love and thank you so much. Ciao, ciao.